All right. Okay. If you can all just give us permission to go forward with that, we appreciate it. Well, thank you all We Care members for being here today. My goodness, it's been a wild week, hasn't it? Yeah, I know. Darlene's camera's acting kind of weird again. It does that once in a while. I think there's too much energy.
Oh,
So anyway, it was only a little over a week ago that we got an unexpected phone call that she said, I can only listen. Yes, we know, Tiffany, and we appreciate you being here to listen. Giovanna's in the same place. But a little over a week ago, we got an unexpected phone call from friends of ours who live in Western North Carolina. And basically, what they said to us was, Cheyenne, there's somebody we think you need to meet. And I said, why? And they said, because she's looking for help and we think you can help. And we think that she could be part of your mission. And I said, okay, fine. So all of a sudden, within just a few days, we had everything in place that we needed to do. And last Saturday, we traveled to the North Georgia mountains. We just got back late last night. And it was just a crazy, crazy, crazy time, crazy event, everything that we saw, everything that we learned. You guys have heard us talk about the ultimate goal of We Care partnerships, and especially as we are partnered with the Hope Institute, which Rick Mabe is the founder of. And other nonprofits out here. I mean, Darlene's got efforts going on in Indiana. We've met people all over the country in the last few years who've got similar vision. And it's all about being able to first and foremost, put God back into society. That's the number one thing. We recognize the people who are coming together, recognize Jesus as a master teacher who was trying to teach us what we are capable of as human beings. We recognize that we were designed to be the hands and feet of the creator, and we're here to make a difference. So that's kind of the first part. But then in that whole idea of putting God back into society, we have the idea we want to put God back into our health and wellness. We want to put God back into, prosperity and abundance. The Bible says that we're supposed to live life abundantly. We want to put God back into creating peace in our societies. We can't have peace when everybody's in chaos and fighting and angry and hateful and violent and the whole nine yards. So putting God back into our society to have peace. And then the fourth component, because there really are four teams that are supposed to be going on within We Care. The other one is basic needs. And that's very heavily where the Hope Institute comes in. That's where what Darlene is working on in Indiana comes in, where we're looking at building new communities that can house people, heal people, educate people, and help them be self-sustaining. That is the big mission, because We Care is supposed to provide the small business community who are problem solvers to help lead the charge in those communities. So whether it's ideal communities like Darlene talks about, it's hope communities that Rick talks about, everybody's got a different name, but it's all the same. It all means the same thing. So basically, what we were introduced to this weekend was a woman. Her name is Dr. Swan Freed, and she owns 60 acres right on the edge of the Chattahoochee National Forest. Now, some of you may have seen some of the photos that we were sharing this weekend. Some of you may not. I'm going to share my screen because I figured out that all these photos are already on the computer through Google. And I'm like, oh, did I even know this? But sometimes you're just told these things. So let's see. All right. So some of you may have seen this amazing picture. This is a 400-foot waterfall that's sitting on this woman's property. I'm like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And she actually has at least three, but I think I saw somewhere there's four waterfalls on this property. If we go down here, she feels this is a very healing property. She's got like five different streams, and one of the streams feeds a pond in front of the lodge that she has. Look at how clear the water is. You can see the trout in the pond. And she says that the water is full of minerals. It is crystal clear. And we were blown away at the water pressure in the place. We were able to fill up a hot tub in almost no time at all because the water was so amazing. And this is the only place in the last 5 years that I've drank water straight out of the faucet because it is just that clean and that clear. This has been a very successful campground. It has existed for 25 years. The challenge is that, first of all, this gal, she ended up battling cancer. And I think when that happened, a lot of things shifted in her world, as I'm sure Joetta can tell you, that is a normal thing to have happen. A lot of things shift, a lot of things change. She started to see and feel that this property was supposed to be used for a higher calling. And so, and it's just recent that she decided to just shut the whole thing down and see where God wanted to take it. And, you can see some of these pictures. This is a pavilion that holds 250 to 300 people. And it was actually designed to be like a longhouse of the Native American tradition. And right now it needs a little TLC. There's been some vandalism, there's some broken windows, but overall, if you go inside, this is what it looks like. And it has a stage sitting there, and it could be an amazing place to do an amazing event. It's so beautiful because it's windows all the way around. And so lots and lots of natural light in this place. This is another building that we found to be quite interesting, and they call it the Dakota Retreat House. If you look at this on the left side, this is one long room where you could put lots of chairs and have all kinds of teaching and training going in there, as well as you could have a bunch of tables. On the right side, this is all a bunkhouse. It is loaded with rooms that have all kinds of bunk beds in it. It's got bathrooms in it, showers in it, the whole 9 yards. So it's like a self-contained place that you can have a bunch of people to be. And I think I took at least one picture inside there. Whoop, need to go the other way. Come on, back. Yeah, right there. So yeah, this is inside that one side. You can see there's a line of tables in there, but there's a pile of chairs and such. And again, you can see there's all these windows around where it was really designed to have a lot of great light in there. So, again, all of these buildings need some TLC right now. This one's probably the most functional out of everything that we saw, that it really doesn't require a lot to get things up and running. It's in fairly decent shape. There's a bunch of cabins on the property, but again, some of them have been vandalized, some of them have been, they're dirty, they need new furniture, but there's some of them that are absolutely cute. We stayed in one that looked a lot like this. And actually it was really nice. This is that same cabin. You can see it has its own little breakfast nook. It has its own little kitchen area. I mean, this is how all the cabins were originally set up. A few of them are still in really good shape. Few of them not so much. Ours actually even had a jacuzzi in it. We were so thrilled to fill up that hot tub and enjoy, because it was 17 degrees when we woke up the other day. We're not used to that. We've been in Florida all winter. But you can kind of get a sense, this is the cabin we stayed in. This is where we're parked. Down in here is where that retreat house is. You can kind of get a sense of what some of this looks like. Yeah, don't even go there, Donald. I know what you're thinking about, the bear.
Left his calling card.
Yeah, we think we had a bear that left a calling card next to our car the other night, a big pile. But anyway, here's some of the other cabins and such you can see. And there's just amazing water on this property all over the place. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So this is what some of the cabins are big time with bunkhouses where people can stay and sleep and be able to come to a conference or retreat, whatever. Oh, don't do that on me. It's not what I want. There we go. We're getting down here. Let's see. I don't remember what else we got here. What's this one? Oh, that's the fish pond in front of the lodge, which is really pretty.
So to the left there.
The left of that's another one of the cabins that have the bunks in them. So yeah, this was another cabin that was in pretty good shape. It's got bunks, it's got bathrooms, it's got all that kind of stuff. This is the lodge. So there's the desk of the lodge. And again, this is really pretty, but it could use some cleaning up, sprucing up. Definitely dusty. I'm telling you, I sneezed all weekend. There's a very heavy duty Native American flair to the place. In fact, the word Enota, which is what the name of the place is, it's called the Enota Mountain Retreat, and that is a Cherokee word, and it gets in a lot of nice things. This is the dining room. This is on the lodge. It has a whole commercial kitchen. Again, everything is all these windows all the way around with all this natural light and all of these places that people can sit and be able to eat. And most of the rest is some scenery. This actually is kind of sad. This looks like it was almost like a little motel at one point in time, but this would almost probably need to be taken down and redone because it looks like it's gone through some really tough times, and some of the rooms actually the roof is collapsed and things of that nature. Huh? Yeah. Okay. So, and this was another one. I mean, you can see, this is another one of the little waterfalls that's on the property. This is actually right behind the lodge. So everything there is just incredibly peaceful, incredibly beautiful. We went out walking. I'm trying to see, is this my ice crystals? I think it is. Yeah, oh no, that ain't it. That's the waterfall again. Where's the ice crystals? I don't think that's them. Where'd they go? I know I had a really interesting picture because there was these ice crystals forming on the mountains all over the place, and they just were so beautiful. So, that's where we've been for the last 4 days, and it has been kind of an amazing situation.
That was me freezing my butt off.
Yeah, it was cold while we were there. I mean, it never got out of the 40s, maybe 30.
One day it got to 40.
One day it got to the 40s.
Time below freezing.
So it was definitely cold, but now it's what, the 60s today? Is like
tomorrow's supposed to be in the 70s.
I mean, it's nice, but at any rate, it's a place that we're seeing as a possibility to be able to help her to be able to put things together for 2 things. She's actually looking at the possibility of bringing in a team of people to reopen the campground piece, but she's very interested in conference piece, and she's very into self-sustainability. We didn't take pictures of these because I was more interested in the conference side of things, but she's got horses, cows, pigs, chickens, goats. Oh God, the goats keep getting out, and she's having problems with the local sheriff over that.
Go herder.
Goat herder. She had to go back and get the goats off the road the other day. God help us. So she's got the whole farm. She's had a beautiful organic farm there. Right now, it's been covered over.
Lost your voice,
to-
Cheyenne.
We can't hear you, Cheyenne.
ah, I hate this. The internet's been doing weird stuff.
Chick-
Yeah, I see it, and it's still showing strong, but it's saying unstable. So, can you still not hear me?
No, we can hear you now.
All right.
what?
I don't know why it went dark. I have no idea. It's doing weird things. But anyhow, so organic gardening. This gal is looking at this place similar to how Darlene looks at hers, similar to what the Hope Institute vision is. She's looking at this as a place that if this whole country should implode and things just kind of fall all apart, she wants this to be a refuge for leaders who are here to help rebuild whatever goes down. And so that is a huge component. She's actually looking for people to come and help put up new fencing to keep the goats off the road. She's here looking for people who want to help plant these organic gardens again, who want to help, with anything that can be self-sustaining.
Your
Yeah.
hand's moving, but we can't hear your voice.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you're
This
back.
is,
There you go.
I don't know why the internet's doing this right now, but it's been this way all day so far. So my apologies. Self-sustainability is a big piece for her. She is totally okay with having. What was that? Ricky,
Can you repeat what she wants to use this for? Because we didn't hear you at all.
okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. And you gotta, I don't know if I can improve on the internet situation, so keep letting me know. She wants it to be a refuge for people who are, if everything collapses in this country, she wants it to be a refuge where people can come. You can't hear it again.
Don't go there.
I'm telling you, they don't want us to tell about this.
Similar to like the Hope Institute and other things that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
where
but
people of
they
a like
don't
mind
know
can
your full
come and-
vision. They don't know your full
Maybe
vision.
Put it in the chat.
All right, we hear you now. Go ahead.
Go ahead, we can hear
Yeah.
you
Go,
now.
go, quick. Everybody shut up. Go.
Help creating a refuge for people to come and be able to live if the whole world is falling apart. She wants people who are here to help regrow the world in a more God-focused way. Hopefully you can hear that much. Okay. So she's looking at it as a refuge. She needs to rebuild a lot of that. She's the only one on the property right now. We were the only ones there at night, other than a guy who came in to kind of view the place and see if he might help to do some of the repairs and such. So, she's looking for teams. So if we go there, part of what we're going to be doing is bringing together teams who can get on the land and help repair things, help make things better, help to regrow the organic gardens and things of that nature. Hopefully you heard me earlier when I said she had cancer at one point in time. And I think that's when everything shifted. And now she's here. She wants to help people survive if we end up in a really, really tough place. But what I told her was that we have a team that would love to be able to do at least one big event there. And that would be something that could help put money into the pockets of all our businesses, as well as money into her pocket to help with a lot of stuff. She has all the raw materials on the property to build her own hydroelectric dam. So she has the ability to put these things together so that that property will always have power. And she's got the animals, she's got the garden, she's got all these things so that people can get back to closer to the earth living. And I believe that what I'm being shown is doing a big event there And I told her I was going to put together a proposal, but a big event there where, and I think it's supposed to be done somewhere around mid-August. I bet Darlene could come up with a date that's important in mid-August.
We are already booked in Chicago for a month in August, from the last part of July till the 22nd of August. So I'm already
Okay.
committed to Chicago. But we have,
Okay.
the interfaith group is meeting in Chicago.
Yeah, and I
Global.
I actually have spoken for the Parliament of World Religions before, so I'm familiar with that. But you know, our focus will probably be working to reach people in the Southeast.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to be about 4 hours from Charlotte. That's for Lorenzo and Joanna. We'll be about 4 hours from Charlotte, in the middle of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous there. And you know, we're going to be looking to go and speak in churches. It's time. You know, Maggie did a huge favor for me the other day. She kind of went piece by piece through our We Care website and helped me to kind of tweak a lot of stuff. And I think it's ready to go out to some of the churches.
Could we
And
try for August the 26th and 27th? I have that open.
that's a possibility. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we haven't, you know, now this is an empty facility that is open to a lot of possibilities. And, you know, if we can get out and be able to speak in churches and help find people, we're looking for the people who are feeling called to do something more with their lives. You know, we're supposed to be the hands and feet that are helping to create the better world that we know in our hearts is possible, right, Darlene? And, you know, so we're going to get out here and see if we can speak, maybe do some workshops in churches. That would be North Carolina, Georgia, possibly even Eastern Tennessee, because where this is located is actually very close to, it's not that far from like Chattanooga in Tennessee. Yeah, that's right. We're close to South Carolina, not that far from Columbia. So lots of different things around the Southeast. We know a lot of people in North Carolina. We know quite a few people in Georgia now. So we're going to tap a lot of people to come and be presenters, to come and do, you know, whatever, and have an expo there as
Well,
Oh,
well.
Janet, you're out.
You lost your sound
Okay.
again.
Thanks. Is it coming back yet?
Well, I could say anything.
And you're back.
And
Oh
we're
man, I
back.
was about ready to say something about Dory too.
So anyway, I just wanted you guys to see what we saw and see what we can. What's that say? Ministry freedom is found in a what?
508 C1A. This
Oh,
this
okay.
is where we're taking to all churches need to have this.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
because that gives us the freedom to be able to do whatever we desire to do, that we are divinely inspired to do, not what government says we can do it, or any other slave driver says we can do it, but because we are divinely inspired to be able to serve the Creator in our own way, as long as it's life
Absolutely.
empowering.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get you. And actually this lady did something very smart. When she bought this property, she used to own like 60 pieces of property. She's into real estate big time. And so when she bought this property, she also put it into a nonprofit trust. So the government supposedly cannot take it over by eminent domain, which
That's right.
they do like to do. So she's pretty sharp. She's protecting it as best as she knows how. And, you know, it definitely, and in fact, she gave me a DVD that she created 15 years ago. And the DVD is called The Entrepreneurial Village.
Awesome.
She fully had that vision 15 years ago that she wanted to use this property to create an entrepreneurial village. So, you know, these are just the things that have kind of come at us full force in the past week. I mean, what kind of questions, comments, things come to you guys' minds?
Well, I done put
Cheyenne,
some
did you,
things
did
in the
you get
text
the,
chat area.
DVD? Did you get the DVD?
I can mail you one. She gave me several copies. All right.
What was Darlene trying to?
I don't know. Darlene, I can't hear you. You're quiet at the moment. You said you put some things in the chat.
There we go. Yeah, I see what that's the names and etc. And so I've already talked to her many years ago about this project because we're doing the same thing with West Baden Springs, and we're doing that in Southern Indiana here, and they're doing it in Colorado and in Massachusetts. So some of these things are, and it's all about being able to network us together, and that's what's happening now.
Well, and that's why
That's
out
why the
here.
energy shift, that's where the energy shift is. Because in the past, there has not been the collaboration.
Yes.
There has been that competition instead of us working together in a network and a dynamic. And that's the reason we started the Ideal Network. And now we have the Ideal Ads Network. We can do free advertising and all these sorts of things. So the energy is shifting towards us who were futurists way back when you got your RV. You know, remember these shifts that were happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, any event that's done there could involve any or all of you guys. It definitely can include, you know, being able to have products for sale, being able to sell services, being able to whatever. But we definitely want to be thinking about all the ways we can educate people about putting God back into health, finance, peace, and basic needs.
You see the concept of the word goes, the gardens of Eden sanctuaries.
Oh Lord, okay. I
Because
like that.
as the family goes, so goes society or civilization, etc. So one day I woke up and I said, well, there's got to be, what is this goes, you know, and etc. And that's what came to me, the Gardens of Eden, because we're talking about building Gardens of Eden around the planet.
It's true. Now I know Rick keeps trying to say something. Rick, what's up there?
I just want to know the DVD that you got. Have you watched it yet?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello. You
He
can't
said
hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Have you watched the DVD yet?
Yes.
Can you share it? Is there a way to share it digitally? Is it too big to share, or is it?
I don't have a DVD player. I'm going to have to mail you one.
Yeah, I don't have a DVD player either. I was wondering for some way to convert it to
There you go. I have
a
copies
USB
of it.
drive or something.
I have copies of it. Now, Don actually does have a DVD player
Ooh.
on his computer. Maybe there's a way.
Oh,
If the
Karen said we got a DVD player.
Okay. Okay.
The reason
cool.
I'm asking that is because I'd like to be able to see it, to see more about what her vision actually is, and see how we might, come up
Well,
with what we might be able to help
it's
her with.
changed. It's changed. You know, she's now looking at this as more of a sanctuary, a refuge, a place for healing, a place, you know, whereas back then she just wanted to bring a bunch of entrepreneurs and have an intentional community based on entrepreneurship. So it's changed, but she's open, you know, and she did say more than once, this property will end up being shaped by the people who show up.
A van for us to be able to do these things.
Yeah, and Dory's asking question, how long will it take them to do the repairs? Well, that's the sad part. We've got to pull together teams to go do repairs because right now she has nobody.
We already have it.
Yeah.
We already have it with the handy dandy helpers. In fact, I just bought a van. And we've got the trucks, and we bought, you know, all sorts of things that we have that are pulled together to be able to do these projects.
Well, that's cool. The challenge becomes, though, that she's, you know, she is a nonprofit and she's looking to kind of, you know,
that's what we all are. Yeah,
You know, she's looking for people who want to barter being on the land with doing some of the work. The same
that's
kinds
what
of
we
stuff to
do. That's
And-
what we do.
Okay, well, I mean, if that's a possibility, because the sooner we can get people helping on that property, the sooner we can do some things with it. And
That sounds like
again,
a win-win, Darlene.
yeah, exactly. There was a couple of guys there just the day before when we were traveling to go up. There was a couple of guys who were wanting to reopen the whole campground side of things. And she's willing to let them, but she's, I'm not sure the guys are going to come through. My gut's saying I'm not sure they're going to come through with it. But, it could be, again, kind of like this dual purpose there where the campground side of stuff can bring in money that helps to feed, the self-sustainability project going on there. So all of these things can be happening. And yeah, whatever event we do in August that's the date I'm getting is August. Who knows? Maybe Lorenzo needs to come and be a DJ for us. We got a guy named John Stringer down in Atlanta area who's a musician that may do a concert for us. I'm getting reconnected to a lot of really interesting people right now. And, I don't know. I'm crazy excited about the possibilities, but what other questions and thoughts come to you guys' minds? Yeah, I know. Joanne had to run. She said she'd catch the rest of the recording. Yep. So
I think the question that Dory was asking Darlene was, how fast can she pull her crew together to get down there to work on Georgia?
Well, the first thing I'll have to do is make a trip down there myself, which I could do that within the next week or two. I'll need to contact her, make an appointment, set up, and then I'll have to take my forward team down and have them look and see, because we were ready to start doing the West Baden Springs area this spring. So we pretty well have got that one under control. It's just that we wanted to expand the campground outside Patoka Lake there this year. So we haven't set a definite time on that one because we're still looking at making the contract for being able to do it and what they expect us to do and et cetera in exchange for. And I think they're getting ready to deed the property over to the ministry. So that's kind of where we're at, kind of seeing, because if we put it under an umbrella that's already acceptable and et cetera, then we can do these things. But I wouldn't have any problem making a trip down within the next week or two if she's interested. I'll talk to her on the phone with you, and the two of us, we can get on the phone with her and
absolutely
and make
That'd be
some
good.
guides, et cetera, to see what would work for her. How her health is, where she sees to do this, because this is where I'm shifting everything. And what I put everything in hold on was to make sure that we are getting everything under the 508. And we're going to try to do some test court cases before we move everything over into it, because of when you're 501c3, in case you don't know the dynamics, I don't know if you've done any study on this. Destiny 508 will be the one that this one is off of, but there are several organizations that are coming together now. Dan Peterson has his group that are actually working with the churches to get the churches free from not being able to talk about politics and stuff like that in their churches. Because this is why we shut our church down, was because they were demanding that we give our speeches, our sermons, a copy to them before we presented them. And if we had known about this dynamic then, that would have been our test case in court.
I'll tell you something.
Go ahead.
This lady has been raised with lawyers
and doctors.
She
Great.
knows the law, and
Great.
she can get answers just like
Wow,
that.
That's what we've been missing, because everybody wants thousands and thousands of
Yeah. Oh, we lost your volume again.
Can't hear you.
I
can do that too.
Yeah, we can't figure out if everybody's going silent or if it's just one of us here.
Cheyenne, because I
yes.
can't hear anybody
We
talking.
lost Cheyenne again. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure how this goes through.
Okay.
So I'm excited. It's all coming through again where we're at, test, muscle testing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Can you hear me right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, he can. Because she grew up in an intentional community. So she was in an intentional community of lawyers and doctors. And, she was self-sustaining, making her own money in the thousands and thousands at age 16. So she is a sharp businesswoman. She went through her physical challenges. She seems to be back, seems to be fine. And she is driven. She's like, I'm here for God's people, and I'm here to save as many people as I can.
Can't hear you.
Yeah,
Oh, this is fun.
it is fun.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Now you're back.
Now
Okay.
we're back.
Darn, I was about ready to say something about.
I don't know what's going on with the internet here. It's usually really good. So I don't think they want us talking about this.
You're right.
I was about ready to say something about Lorenzo.
No, you weren't. But anyway, that's what we've seen in the past week, and I think it has the potential to be very interesting. I will tell you that if anybody in North Carolina or Georgia area has any thoughts about churches that they could introduce us to, that's going to be a big piece, is because we want to reach out into the churches and invite them to consider try to find the people who feel they have something they're being called to do. And we want to be able to invite them to come out here, because this is going to be a fee-paid conference. And I do intend everybody to get paid to be a part of it. And definitely, we're going to do a huge amount of the work. We've got to make, a larger amount of money at this point in time to be able to do what we're here to do. So that's kind of it.
Therein is the challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's, I think where we're gonna have some discussions we're gonna have to do with everyone is how do we leverage what we know, leverage what we want to do to be able to make a living, if you want to coin it that way, to be able to sustain ourselves while we're doing this good work.
This
we do
might
have to-
be Rick, this might be a test case to work with John Root on the community created credit program. We've got one going in northern Indiana. We're looking at how we can launch one here in the Princeton area and the French Lick area to be able to do this. This is something we've been working on for the last couple of years. And it's because of conflicts within the team. Ego, that type of thing gets in the way. And so what we have to do is realize that that's the same thing that has stopped us from doing so many projects on this planet. And so once we have our hearts, in other words, our head, our heart, and our solar plexus in alignment, the spirituality then leads us. And
Absolutely.
so this is where we need to do, is to realize that we're talking about the brain and the mind. And so when we begin to understand how the Creator has created us, these are the things that we're beginning to do. And so we're getting away from quote unquote religion and into spirituality. This is where we're supposed to be, is so you have a direct communication with your Creator.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And the 508 thing, I need to hear more about that, because the Hope Institute is now doing some fiscal sponsorship work
Right.
And one of the key things about that in terms of being in, and I know that we're trying to get away from the government control, but that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, see, but we have to walk both lines. That's what we have to
That's
learn
right.
to do, is how do you
That's
do it
right.
safely in both areas so there's no conflict, no wars, no et cetera.
Right. And so
Absolutely.
the thing that we have to be real careful about is how we do our sponsorship work, because one of the key things is that you cannot be in any way connected with political action of any kind if
But
you're
you
doing
set yourself under the 508 first. You already have that freedom. You already have that according to our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence and everything else. We've got it all set up in America. It'll spread around the
We don't
planet.
believe in
They're doing it.
something
They're doing it in Switzerland and Sweden and other countries. So what you do is you already have this. You already have this freedom. You just have to know how to use the words to claim it. Luke 10:19. You've got to be able to claim it first. You
That's
don't claim the
right.
power that you already have and protect it, they're going to take it away from you. That's called slavery. That's what we've got. I don't know. Anyway, I can go on and on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
and-
understand. I need to be able to talk to the right people to be able to,
Yeah.
frame,
Hey,
to frame the,
why don't y'all
frame
set up a
the-
one-on-one and take care of
Okay.
that?
Yeah, go to
Good idea.
Destiny508.com has this book on there. And so that
Okay.
kind of is probably one of the easiest ones to follow along. There's another group that Dan Peterson likes, or that Dan Peterson heads up. But I am kind of liking the way that they put it together as far as understanding it, and it's simple and it's easy to print it off on their PDF and etc. And so
All
it
right,
really
thank you.
does put you in
Yep.
the right direction first. And you have to be your own leader with your creator.
You
I'm
you can
already
make
there with
sure.
that, Darlene. I don't need anybody to tell me about that. I need to figure out how to get away from this legal system. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
that's you
that'll
keep
be
you
good.
keep you keep your the
Okay.
3Os.
We just lost him.
Okay. Well, you keep the three.
Yeah,
If you still already
Lorenzo.
have the 501c3, okay,
Yep.
you can keep that. Okay, you can keep working in that side, but then you always know how to claim so that you as a minister and your projects can work safely outside of the system too.
Yeah, got it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Can I just
Good
jump in
deal.
with
Well,
something?
I will definitely hook up an opportunity for a conference call with you, Darlene, and Dr. Swan, and depending on her time frame and stuff, she works like the Dickens all during the daylight, but at night she kind of winds down, and that's when Rick's available. So we may have to try to find another time when Rick can have a conversation too, because I know he would like to. But we will definitely do that.
You
Just know
you
that-
set it up. Wait a minute. You set it up and I'll make the time to be there. Don't you worry about that.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing you. And whether we end up, being able to do something in churches, whether we end up, just doing this big, big event. I mean, all you guys come with us, either virtually or live, however it works for people to be there. I'm hoping that a good amount of our team members will come to the North Georgia mountains to be available, to be part of a live event. But, I understand not everybody may be able to do that. So
What's
we'll
the
see.
internet connection there? Is it good?
Right now it's not that great. It's really just what she has in the lodge. But she's willing to improve on that.
Because we
she-
can get hotspots like I use.
Well, but I mean, she's really in an isolated area. I don't know what she's getting for. I don't know who she's got the connection with for the Wi-Fi she's got. I have no
I'll do
idea.
some research. I'll do some research and etc.
Uh,
I
Everywhere
think
you
I've
look,
got,
it's up.
yeah,
Can I
Yeah.
just add
Yeah.
something?
it's,
What was that, Tor?
Can I just add something real quick? And this is just a question of semantics, and I hope I don't step on anybody's toes. However, since you are approaching churches, a lot of people who are spirit-filled or born again or whatever, we wouldn't say that spirituality. We would
Mhm.
say it's not about religion, it's about a relationship with Jesus Christ. Once you say
Mhm.
it's about spirituality, then it starts to sound new agey, mainly because everybody I know who says, "Oh, Dory, I don't know if I can work with you because I'm not a Christian. I'm spiritual, but not religious." And I say, "Well, that's good because I'm not religious either. It's not about religion." And they look at me like, "What?" But just have to be careful using the term spirituality because Christians go, "Oh, wait a minute." So
You're
And
right.
and
again,
You're
that's
right.
semantics.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just if I can't talk how I want to in my own group, then I've got a problem.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
We get it. We know where you're coming from. I'm just saying that if you're approaching
But
churches and all.
you're right,
Yeah,
Doris, Dory,
it
we
is.
do have to be, and this is one of the things that we have to do is to learn a universal language
Right.
so that we can communicate across the different dynamics all around the planet because we've got indigenous groups, we've got all
Yeah.
sorts of people that we
Yeah.
have to work
Right.
with. So we have to be able to comprehend where they're coming from and build that relationship. You're right.
All right. Oh, yeah. I even have private clients that are from all different faiths and backgrounds. And I just say, we use different terminology, but when I refer to this, I mean this. So,
Yeah.
whatever you use is probably different. And that's okay. Just so you know where I'm coming
Right.
from. Yeah. That's that whole language thing. Because sometimes some words make people go, wait, what? So I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I
Yeah.
know where you're
No.
coming from, but we want to make sure we
I need
don't
to write a
make
book on that.
anybody in a church go, wait, who are you?
It's all good. It's all good. And we are aware of a lot of these things. Um, I don't want to keep people too much longer. I kind of thrown a lot of information. Joetta, you've been really quiet. What's in your mind?
Y'all nuts.
I love it.
She's gonna take off running for the hills.
Nuts.
No, I think it's a great idea. I think it has lots of possibilities. What kind of conference are you planning to have? I guess that's one of the things. Have you thought about the type of conference you would have at this place?
Well, I mean, that's part of where the We Care team gets to come together and help put the pieces of that together. That's a lot of what we do in We Care. It's about collaboration. It's about the
That's
team
exactly.
getting involved and creating. That's
That's what
like
it should
that.
be. That's what the conference should be about, is sharing and collaborating. Is
Well,
come and share your
the-
ideas. Come and, what can you help with? What do you have to bring to the smorgasbord?
Well,
and
when
it-
you were talking about Darlene going down and helping with repairs, I was thinking to myself, I can do anything but repair because I can clean better than I can repair.
Well, there's always cleaning that needs to be done.
there's
believe
plenty of
me.
cleaning.
Because I have two left feet when it comes to repairs. I don't know anything about repairing anything, but I can clean. I know how to clean up. But I don't know anything about repairs. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, repairs.
What
I have
she
no knowledge.
has, what she has there is already the basics of the buildings.
Yes.
And so repair is always much easier than starting from scratch, building everything.
I don't know about that one.
Well, some of them
I
might
do.
do
I
better
do,
from
because
scratch.
that's one of the things that we do here is we fix up old buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've got your
Absolutely.
foundation, you got your sewer, you got your water, you got all that stuff in place already, then just about anything can be fixed up.
True.
Absolutely. And there's a bunch of RV pads out there, that have full hookups. There's plenty of tent areas and there's, what is it, 22 cabins? It's quite a number of cabins, but again, some of them are in good shape, some of them not so good shape. So, it's all good. And it doesn't mean, to me, the We Care team, if there's people who can get involved and come and help with the actual property, that's great. But I want the team to come together to put together whatever this conference looks like. And again, I'm almost thinking that it's almost like a 4-track conference, because we could have a track where there's people who are, teaching about wellness and how do you get back to nature in your wellness stuff. I mean, I know you've got a lot of that knowledge, Joetta. So does Dory. So does Darlene. We got, Tiffany here, she's a holistic health coach, so you have wellness stuff. You have a track where people can be learning more about entrepreneurship and, how do you,
And music and art and sciences and all those things
right.
can come together, you know?
well, again, we're about health, wealth, peace, and basic needs. Those are our 4 tracks. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that fit into that because wellness includes music. I mean, absolutely. So all of those things can fit in. And I think it could be a blast to put together an event like this.
And you will learn new skills like milking goats.
I can do that really well. We used to have goats and sheep and cows and steers. We're shifting back now towards the permaculture. So I've got some new people on site that are learning more about the permaculture so that we can restore many of the things that we've lost over the last few years.
I gotcha.
Right, Darlene, it's funny you should use that word because that's exactly what popped into my head. Restore. Restoration and reinvention, and we need something else to go with that. There you go.
All these words, RE, just think about all those redoing. I mean, nothing that we're doing hasn't already been done one time or another. We got to figure out what caused the quote unquote decline or the failure and then avoid those. Those are the learning lessons. We've never had a failure. We've just had all these learning lessons of what not to do.
We're like Thomas Edison.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I can give you a whole bunch of things of what not to do when you're trying to grow a business. Just ask.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the way, that's a dynamic you could do is create a list of those things because that would be a marketable product. As consulting and etc.
What is this?
Absolutely. Well, and I wanted to make sure that before we ended here today, that I at least make sure this is in our recording because, right now, there's a number of us who can talk about business opportunities. We can talk about things like that as part of our prosperity team. But we really want some people who can get into helping to train and educate about finances from a more spiritual perspective. And some of you may have run across David Matthews. He's a young guy who lives in the Raleigh area. And I've been trying to pull him into We Care, but unfortunately, he's got a full-time job working for SAS, and he's got a small child, and his wife is on the road a lot. And so it's been really hard to get him engaged. But he created this class called Financial Grace, and he created it because his church did the David Ramsey program for financial stuff. And he said that there were too many people in his church that bailed out of that program because they couldn't handle, the strict idea of cutting up all your credit cards, et cetera, et cetera. So David created this program called Financial Grace as kind of a stepping stone that could get people eventually ready for the David Ramsey program. And he has basically handed me the facilitator guide and he's handed me the workbook. And I love right in the beginning, because this is on our website, choose fear or faith, right?
Yep, exactly. Outwitting the devil. That's his favorite tool is fear.
Exactly. And, I'm just trying to find out if there's anybody in the current We Care membership that would like to take a look at these and possibly become a facilitator for this program. Because, I'm sure we need to incorporate this program. It's just, I haven't got the time to do it. And, I think it will be an amazing thing. And David really hasn't asked for anything in return, but if it ends up being part of a program that there's fees collected for, I would be, giving some of that money back to David, because I know he put a lot of work into this. So, this workbook is 84 pages, for gosh sakes. So there's quite a bit here. And then
send me the copy and I'll start working on it. I have a brand new minister that just moved on site. This would be perfect for him.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, David's okay with me sharing it, but like I said, I just don't, I want to make sure that whatever we do with it, we're honoring David.
Yeah, he would
his
be working
creation.
directly with them, with them, etc. So that would be awesome. But I was looking for something for him to do in the meantime while we're getting some of these other things in place. And he's now working, he's a CNA, he works at one of the nursing homes locally. He moved here to take over a position at one of the nursing homes and has moved out here to the country. He's taking over one of the buildings. So
Gotcha. Well, and we could have more than one person who decides
yeah.
they want to facilitate this too. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's a
We
great
need plenty.
program.
Yeah.
And so if there's anybody else in the membership that decides they want to take a look at that and see if they want to get involved, because we've got a couple of people who are great supporters, but they haven't necessarily gotten as involved in providing a product or service. And I want to see something like this incorporated. So I'll send it along to you, Darlene. If anybody else wants to see it, let me know.
Okie doke.
You could send it to me.
Okay, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, he begged me to find people that would work with this because he's just like, I don't have time, but I know it's important. And I said, well, I think it fits what we're doing.
See, that's the challenge is we've got what we did not do in the past was create a strong team that's at the level of the management area, is so that if something happens to me, I could, then you got a team to take over. You've got to have replacements. And so this is why it's so important for us to really create what we call these inner circles.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it is 1:01 and I try not to keep people more than an hour. Anybody else have any other questions, comments, anything at all before we close this out today?
Anybody that wants to save the chat, you need to save the chat before she closes it.
Yeah, actually, I may make sure I do that too, just in case anybody wants it. Yep, so Dory's happy to look at it, and Joetta wants to look at it, and Darlene wants to look at it, and that's all good. Okay, cool deal. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for allowing us to share these incredible possibilities. I think there's some really cool stuff that could happen. So if any of you have any ideas that come to your mind, kick me an email, kick me a text message, let me know what's there, because I'm going to start putting some ideas onto paper to be able to share with Dr. Swan. And we'll see what we can do to get Darlene and Rick connected up with her.
Awesome. So thank you and Dawn, both of you, for staying the course. It's been tough for you, but you set the example of being collaborative. Keep working, keep connecting, keep collaborating, and it'll all come together. The timing is right. The planet is having these energy shifts.
Thank you, guys.